My name is Julie. Julie Miller. You probably don't know me, and if you do, maybe you've heard the rumors. The weird girl who claims she saw something awful happen at Freddy's years ago. I know how it sounds. I know what people say about me, but I need you to hear it. All of it. Because the people I lost that day, they deserved to be remembered. We weren't family, but we were close enough that it didn't matter. Cassidy, Frederick, Benjamin, Carly, Felix, and me. We were just kids with another excuse to be together. Just to simply be kids again. Cassidy was the heart of our group, always keeping us moving. Frederick liked to think he was the responsible one, but we all knew he had just as much fun as the rest of us. Benjamin, he was never serious, not even once. We liked it that way. Every hard moment from our lives were made less difficult when he was around. Carly was the quiet one, always drawing, always thinking about things the rest of us didn't. And Felix was different. I didn't realize it at the time, but I think I loved him. Maybe he loved me too. We were just kids. We probably didn't know the feeling yet, but I knew, no matter what, I was in safe hands when he was there. If I only did have the chance to say thank you. It all started at our favorite hangout spot, Freddy Fazebear's Pizza. It was Cassidy's birthday, and she planned to have it there.
It's easy to see why. The games, prizes, and pizza. What a blast. I remember sitting there, next to Felix, stuffing my face with pizza, joking about how we'd totally beat everyone at skee-ball later. I remember Ben sneaking extra tokens into his pocket, planning to play the new racing game all night.
After a while of playing games, Cassidy called us over. The show was going to begin soon, so we all began to head back to the table. That's when me and Felix came across Frederick at the prize counter. We walked up to tell him that the show was about to start and we would meet at the table. He said he was going to cash in his tickets before they ran out of the cool stuff. Felix teased him about rushing it, but he just waved us off. I'll be right over when I'm done. So we moved along. We got to the table, but only saw Cassidy and Benjamin there. I asked where Carly was, and Benjamin said that she was just going to use the bathroom. She would be back soon. Then Cassidy asked us about Frederick, and we told her about the prize corner. Time passed, and the showtime was coming closer and closer. I fell asleep on the table, simply waiting for Carly and Frederick to come back. I eventually woke up and snapped back to reality. But that was when I realized Cassidy was looking at Benjamin concerned. I looked over to Benjamin and saw him facing down at the table, fidgeting with the edge of a napkin, twisting and tearing little pieces off. Every few seconds, he would look back at the main area and turn his head to find something. We've never seen Benjamin like this before. Out of concern, I asked him if he was all right. He snapped out of his trance and jolted upright, which startled all of us. He apologized for scaring us like that, and we told him that it was okay. Felix asked if he was all right, and Benjamin replied to us saying that Carly was taking a while to come back, and it was starting to worry him. And he was thinking, what if she's in pain while trying to answer nature's call out because of all the junk food she has eaten or something? We gave him a puzzled stare. Cassidy looked especially weirded out. Eventually, after a while of, awkward silence, I told him that he shouldn't be worried about it, and tried to assure him it was going to be all right. And maybe when she finished, she got distracted and went off to play the games. It's possible, right? Benjamin then started to calm down, realizing how silly it was to believe for someone to be in pain in a fun place like Freddy's. We were so naive back then. I miss that feeling. Maybe she would come back. Just to be sure, Ben offered to go into the arcade to look for her, and we told him that we could wait. Then Ben ran off to look for her. We waited and waited. The show has started and the curtains drifted to the side, revealing the Great Fazington Review Band. And there was still no sign of them. We were actually starting to worry about them. So Cassidy stood up, claiming enough was enough, and we had to go find them. Felix and I agreed as the three of us ran off to find them. First, we went to the prize corner. We found no one at all but Frederick's tickets on the table. This was becoming serious. We began to look through every nook and cranny we could think of. We searched behind every arcade cabinet. We looked under each table. Felix and Cassidy searched the bathrooms. We asked staff members. We did all we could do. Then we came back to the main table and told each other the luck we had, which was none. We just couldn't find them. That's when I saw someone from behind Cassidy, right in front of the stage, and in between the row of tables, it was a purple jester of some kind. He had blue cheeks, red gloves, and a big bow tie. We've been to Freddy's plenty of times, and we've never seen this jester character before, which made him stand out as odd. And even if he was a character, wouldn't the band introduce him? I was skeptical, and everyone else seemed to have thought the same too. The jester walked up to us. Felix grabbed my arm in case it did prove dangerous, and we had to run. Cassidy stared at the jester in curiosity, and when he got right up to Cassidy, he said to her, "Ah, you're that birthday one I've been hearing about, right? Well then, I wish thee a very happy birthday, Madam Cassidy. I've heard quite a bit about you." Cassidy was surprised and asked how did he know her name. The jester guy told us that her friends told him, calling them by their name no less. We were all surprised at that, but the jester's goofy and playful demeanor did make Felix and Cassidy put their guard down. Mine was still up. I didn't know why, but something felt off about this new character. The jester then told us about gifts he had for all of us. He said he already gave Frederick, Benjamin, and Carly theirs, and he wanted to give the last two to us. But he wanted to wait till it looked like we needed the gifts. Cassidy naively asked what the gifts were. The jester said he couldn't say because her friends wanted it to be a surprise, just for them. After he said that, he then gave Cassidy a paper crown. Cassidy was beginning to trust him just a little more. Felix sighed in relief, thinking that the worst was actually over. The jester then told us to follow him, so we could reunite with our friends again. To be honest, if I knew where my friends were, I would have declined the offer. But given the options at the time, he was our best bet. So I followed Felix, Cassidy, and the jester. We were led to this door. The door was gray and rusty, had a paper with a drawing of a cake taped to it. The jester stood next to the door and held a knob. He said to us, "We're here. Now, who's ready for the surprise?" Cassidy was starting to become hesitant about this, but she also saw no way forward like I did. She told the jester if he promises that if our friends are actually here, then yes, she was ready. The jester nodded, then opened the door, and she went in. Felix and I weren't too far behind. As we went in, the door closed behind us, and the room went dark. I was panicking a bit, but Felix was there to calm me down. Cassidy was just as worried and proceeded to find her way around the room. She suggested that we find a light switch. We tapped the walls, trying to find one, feeling the surroundings. If my memory proves right, then those furry things I felt were costumes. And the cold, smooth ones were probably endoskeletons. Eventually, I was the one who found it. I truly wish I didn't. We saw them. Oh. There they were, the three of them, lined up against a wall, sitting on the floor. Frederick had his eyes gouged out, and some open wounds. Carly had her arms twisted back, and her lower jaw was sliced off. And Benjamin had a mask covering his face, but I could see the mask leaking red from underneath. I didn't want to imagine what he could have done to him, or any one of them. We were all quiet in pure horror. So we started backing away from the corpses, still looking at them. Cassidy was tearing up. She didn't want to leave them. None of us did. But we had to get out so we could tell someone what we just saw. A cop. A parent. Anyone. Cassidy bumped into someone, and she looked up. Right before she could scream, she got her neck stabbed with a knife, making gargling noises as she fell to the floor. We saw a red liquid spill out from her mouth. I know today that it was undeniably blood. Felix grabbed and hugged me as the figure who killed them all came out from the shadows.
It was no one other than the jester. He lunged toward us. Felix shoved me and screamed at me to run. I didn't want to. I didn't want to ditch him or anyone either. But I was out of choices. Felix flicked a hair clip that was on the floor towards me, and I used that to unlock the door and ran. I looked back at the room as the door closed. The jester stabbed Felix's left eye and looked up at me for a fleeting moment. I saw the mask slip, revealing a man inside. I ran. I ran faster than I ever had in my life. Till that point, I told security and as many staff members as I could. I told them through tears what just happened. I led them to the room and they were gone. The bodies were gone. The floor was spotless. There was just spare suits, pieces of the animatronics, and nothing else. Not even the jester was there. Felix was gone. Carly, Frederick, Benjamin, Cassidy. They were gone. No one believed me. I never got to say goodbye.